Hey everybody, my name is Angie Morenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's the relationship series which we started, and we've been doing it and engaging it, and of course we had to bring back Dr. Oscar because he's the relationship guru. He gets us worked up. But it's all for our good. Dr. Oscar, it's really good to see you again.
So good to be here. Thank you so much for having me back.
We always have to have you back.
No,
but we need security. Now we need some of our bodyguards with security, especially with the women.
Correct.
But just remind people what it is that you do,
yes,
first of all, and then we can get into the conversation.
Great. So thank you so much. I'm a forensic psychologist, and I like to describe myself as a person who's studied relationships by default. And because of my work as a consultant, why I connect dots, I started realizing that relationships, while it's complex, it's just about connecting dots. And people don't like the truth because sometimes we follow our emotions and then we don't follow logic or reason. And so that ends up messing us up. And so when you start hearing the truth, you start saying, no, that can't be. But yet that's the work we need to do. I think, and I say it with utmost humility, because it doesn't mean that I'm the expert, because I also have my own relationship and I'm married, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its own hiccups. But it's just when you realize things, when you're more aware, you become more intentional.
That's
and I think
so true.
Living intentionally is what we need to be striving to.
That is so true. And also, because I want to give you some positive reports, there are positive outcomes, Dr. Oscar, for you coming to speak to us.
Wow.
But you had never spoken to women before.
I'd never spoken to women, actually.
You only deal with the people who worked in the psychology for the forensics.
Yes.
And then men.
And actually, the reason why men were my target group was because in forensic psychology, a lot of the harm is caused by men.
By men.
And so I said, what's happening to us as men and what's broken in us? And that really gave me a chance to talk to men, speak to them about how do you heal the boy so you can heal the man. And that has been my... So when you invited me to speak to women, I was like, I told you, Pastor Angie, oh my God, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but it turned out well, I think.
It turned out very well, but we know you need security. But I always remember as well, because we met,
Correct.
because you had your I don't know how to say it, but you, first of all, pastors out.
Yes, out.
They
no.
like never ever.
No.
Pastor who is alive. So you had said pastors out.
No,
so we had to have a meeting to check each other out and see whether we are going to cope.
Exactly.
But you trusted Jerry, or Jerry, because she had been your student.
Yes, exactly.
So then we had the most amazing animated meeting.
Pastor Angie, let me tell you.
We're like, what?
It's almost like, you know that meeting where you meet someone and you're like, okay, finally someone who gets it. Because I think also the gospel is about authenticity.
Yes.
And if you read the Bible, of course, you're more of an expert than I am. Jesus never went and met people who were cosmetically
He never did.
They were all normal people. And so I thought to myself, if I can find a person of God who preaches, but also ministers in a different and unique way, but then also is authentic, then it would click. And that's what happened. You gave me a chance to be crazy, to share my things that most people would not allow me to share.
Yeah.
And it's because I'd not really liked how the church had been approaching the idea of relationships, telling people that this is the person you meet, you just have to trust God only. And I'm not saying that you don't trust God. Absolutely trust God.
Dynamics.
But you have to do the work as a human being to be in a relationship with another human being. Trust God to help you find that out. But don't also sit back and expect that God will manage your relationship.
That's so true. And then the other thing I think that came out for us was that ICP, although it almost caused war because that was intimacy, commitment, and passion.
Yes.
And then you showed us how they work at different ages.
Yes,
that was also, we're just getting quieter. We're disturbed. We're like, will these relationships ever work? Because even sexual compatibility at the different ages, we laughed at ourselves. Roy Sambu and the Mubabas. There's some videos and the new bail. The videos I watch, I can't even I die of laughter in my house. I'm like, if I put my leg here, guys will be like, okay, what's happening here? Because I'm like, but that's the reality.
You're identifying with it, yes.
So you have to. We can't sort of teach and transform out of the reality.
No.
The reality is that there are new bills.
Yes.
The reality is that kuna wababa.
Yes.
Kuna reality, kuna watu wanaenda Roy Sambu.
Yes.
Said Miras Jozo zimeenda. Sijui nini imeenda. Na bado wako kwa njia. Ya Roy
and
Sambu.
Never felt more
and they live in mansions.
Yes.
And the 2000. Because some of your examples, Dr. Oscar. The guy who sends 2,000 shillings and he's made food for, plus juice, plus
absolutely,
and he's better be in Roysambu than be in his
Muthaiga mansion.
Imagine,
because
isn't that crazy?
How safe he will feel.
Yeah.
And not only just, and I'm not even chastising the wife because that's not fair. It's just about compatibility and where people are. So
and understanding.
Yeah, they're understanding each other because of where they both are in their lives. And so they both want intimacy, for example, more than even the passion at that stage in their life. And you see, the ICP you're talking about, the intimacy, commitment, and passion, are like ingredients for love.
Yes.
And you find that if you're going to have a 5-star meal, like where we are right now, you'll find a chef who's like, maybe has the Michelin star and makes you that meal that has both 3 ingredients. But most times it won't be like that. You'll have 2 ingredients. Now, the combination of those ingredients is what decides what kind of love you're in. Or the lack of any of those ingredients, which is non-love then, which means you're not in love. But then I think that's what really shocked people, new knowledge about what they are. But then you know what I liked? Everybody could actually identify where they were.
They could.
So there's nobody
like for moments were taking place.
Yes.
Guys could identify, and they could also identify with what I want, you know?
Yes.
Right now I'm in the season when I want intimacy.
Yes.
And that's not, it's not sexual intimacy because the passion is where the sexual thing comes in.
Yes.
Intimacy is somebody who's understanding me deeply.
Absolutely.
They see me.
Inside me, and they really, you know, can be vulnerable with them. I can share with them. It's not a competition. And I think that intimacy piece is the most lacking on in relationships. Yeah. Look at men and women in relationships, and they're competing. They're consistently competing. Always. I did this, he did this, or okay, this guy cheated on me, so I'm going to cheat on him. So it's almost like
he went out, I'm going out.
Yes, he has boys, even me, I have girls. You know? It's like people are not helping each other to grow. They're just fighting and jousting with each other, and then you become ugly in front of your partner.
That is so true.
In fact, you turn yourself ugly. I normally tell people also, I've been also growing since
You've been growing.
I've been growing. I'm like, oh, let's soften this too.
Don't soften for them. It helps them. I'm about to give you testimonies.
Great. So I tell people, look at your wedding photos.
Wow.
And look at where you are today.
What?
Yes.
That's scary.
Very.
Very scary.
Even I looked at my own house. I looked at the wedding photos. The way you looked at each other's eyes.
Eyes, deeply.
Deeply.
There was conviction here.
Commitment forever.
Then life happens.
Hey.
You don't even want to see each other.
Exactly. Atom nongeleshana the way you want. But that happens to everybody because people grow. Yeah. However, if you're intentional, then you're able to bring yourself back. Slowly by slowly. Sitting down with your partner, talking about where are you, what are your needs right now. I would like to spend more time with you, go on dates with you, you know, listen to you and what your new interests are. I'd like to know, and are we committed? First of all, you start, are we committed?
Are we committed to each other?
To each other.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, we've messed up with each other. Okay, are we planning to make it work?
To make it work.
Because if you're not making it work, then there's no point of working on the intimacy and the passion. But if you're planning to make it work, then you say, okay, it's baby steps. Let's work towards it. And you find, remember like we did, you find couples that are older are more deeply in love than
66,
younger.
60. That is when people are deep.
That's when they're
ICP
deep.
is working
It's working, kabisa, they're synchronized.
Amazing.
And that's when you can see people saying, when this one used to be, he used to have a girlfriend when we were 40, but
they laugh.
Because they've gone through the battles through their lives. Yeah. And I think, you know, it's not to romanticize love itself, but I think it can be a beautiful thing. When people meet and they actually work together to make something. Yeah. But most people don't see it. And unfortunately, that's why the message is not with most people. Yes. And that's why there's a lot of breakups that you're seeing. Yeah,
because I was going to say there's just the breakups are too many. I think we're really getting married for the wrong reasons. People are getting into relationship for the wrong reasons. Then you don't try. That's a good one. Go look at your wedding photographs. How come this picture has become this picture? And how you intentionally fixing it. So there were a lot of testimonies. Although the women wanted, me, I was like, okay, security.
Especially the second session, that was wow.
And it was the younger ones who were your friends in the beginning, the millennials. Yes. They were fine. Let me tell you, there's a place doctors can like that. We are going to finish this one now. You can only kill it. And then I remember somebody when people were drawing from the back, they stopped now from their seats. Now they're coming towards us. I'm like, what is going on here? But when they got home, people wrote to me. They said, okay, So I've understood something about my husband and this relationship, so I'm working on it. The best one was Niko Mjengo. Hey!
Oh, wow.
Niko sight. I put on my shoes. I'm inside the Mjengo.
Wow.
That was so many women. They told me now Mjengo has taken on I've taken on a new mindset towards it. I'm there, I'm inside it. I realized this is for me because all the things that you said.
Exactly.
The house is being built for you.
Exactly.
But New Bail is the one trying to understand, even say, you know, you killed us. Don't Ati Nikam. Where? You know, because she's the one who's offering the help. She's the one who's offering the understanding. You just want to be difficult about it. This is your house.
Imagine, by the way, the new
mindset changed.
The New Bail is there saying, you look stressed.
Imagine.
What's wrong?
How can I help?
These guys of the hardware, what is it that you're looking for?
Yeah.
I have time tomorrow.
I can go look to the hardware.
So I'll just go. Don't worry. I'll just go. I'll check. And can you imagine? She'll go. She'll present herself as a representative. She'll look so, in her to ditzy, whatever, but she'll do it.
Imagine. She'll offer you the help that you need. So that helped a lot of people. So guys are at Mjengo. They're at site.
Perfect.
They have understood date night and cement. Date night, how he's thinking about cement. I'm telling you, the testimonies I get are amazing. People went home, forgave, started again.
Wow.
Really, they did. It shifted a lot of perspective about them.
You know, I'm wondering, okay, so after they've gone to the Mjengo, have they seen a change in their relationship?
Yes. Okay. Of course. See, the Mjengo is yours.
Imagine.
And you're here behaving like I don't know what.
Imagine.
Causing for us here, this is your Mjengo.
And all of us, I can bet with you, that man is now taking her for dates. He's taking her out of town.
All relationships
He's doing
have
all
changed.
these things. Yes.
Yeah, they've changed.
Yes.
They've changed, they become closer, there's synergy, they're building together, there's understanding. So that one was like, take your watu walishika. Then they I think also there was a lot of testimonies about being more understanding because the New Bill conversation shocked us. It really did. It shocked everybody into, I better start talking gently. Ebu?
Yes.
Ebu, what does this man need?
Yes.
It changed it helped us to sort of, the people who have given those testimonies, it helped them to refocus. Like, honestly, we're both on the same page, we're going in the same direction, and we need to do this.
Yes.
So a lot of those testimonies have come in.
Yes.
There's, I think, somebody who walked out, who even later walked out on their marriage, which is okay. Yeah. I think when you touch people to the point where they're walking out, you're like, okay, I've hit a nerve.
Yeah, and I remember at that point, I made a comment when I saw people lashing back, and I said, maybe we're responding to our own insecurities or things we're insecure about. Because even the stories I'm telling you, whatever I'm telling you, has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it was relationship through a man's eyes. You know, women are also special. It was relationship through a man's eyes. Wanted to know.
Yes.
Let's understand how men see relationships so that we can relate to them better. Oh my God.
But no, let us see it through women's eyes.
I want to see it through me.
Yes.
Talk to me about my eyes, talking about him.
Absolutely.
And I think another thing which really upset us is that the men didn't ask about us.
Oh my goodness. So
we were so upset because the men also had their own session.
Yes.
They didn't ask about us. We asked 15 times about their session.
But I thought about it deeper, and I thought to myself, I said, you know, men, we've always been the problem.
We've always been the
problem. Many times. In terms of being told you're the problem, and also because I told you my background in forensics, I know that men account for a lot of the problem.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it became the one time that they felt safe they could talk about their own problem. So they said, you know, if I'm going to have this chance,
let me focus.
Can I just focus on my own problems first? Yeah. Let me not bring someone else, because even if I understand her problems, what am I going to do? Go sing to her like a radio in the house and tell her problems? No, let me deal with mine. And hopefully, by the way, also now as someone walked out, I think one or two guys, they walked out.
Touched something.
Yes. I think I told the guys, if you ever thought you're the one who chose her, you're mistaken. I think I told the guys that.
She didn't choose you.
You didn't choose her. She
chose you.
Yeah.
She said yes to you.
Yeah.
Because you also told us you're used to being rejected.
Yeah.
You're rejected so many times.
It's true. Ask us, I'm rejected 25 times a day. By the time I went a day, it's just that I found male security. But Unanzanga, you're trying your way all the way until by the time I'm sitting here, you've been rejected 6 times. So men have a muscle for rejection. Women do not, generally.
They don't.
So the men realized that, oh my goodness, they thought they were the pursuer, because we've always talked about men being that. It's true, you're hunting. But this is a very weird type of hunting, because just because you've hunted and found who you wanted to get, doesn't mean they'll accept you. So you find rejection at the end. It's a funny hunting game.
It is.
With rejection at the end. So when she says yes, she's chosen you. You've not chosen her.
You've not chosen her.
Because you'd have chosen 5 others anyway. But for her to say yes, for a woman it's very different. So I made them understand that the woman you're with has made a sacrifice that you probably might never make in your life.
Wow.
To give up all her life, to give up everything to be with
you.
So if you're going to be with her, could you please be there?
Focus.
Yeah. So we're talking with men as men. You're like, we've been the problem. We're the ones going to Roysambu. We're the ones, we're the ones instigating the Mjengo talks with other people. We're the ones, so what can we do to minimize all that and make our relationships work? Yeah.
That was good. And to the women also, you spoke very well to them.
Thank you.
They really are. Even the ones who are protesting and responding, shouting, standing up and down, they were like, "Ma, we need your wife's number. Where is your wife? We need to talk to her today." I think it will help them.
Yes.
And I think also the other thing I noticed in the room, like with the younger ones, when we did the ICP, and we realized that the most intimate and committed and passionate relationships are for those who are in their 60s and beyond.
Yes.
I think also something changed in them. And they realized, like, if they're in their 20s or 30s, there's a work they need to do to get there.
Absolutely.
And then another statement, and I love when people tell me, Dr. Oscar said, I'm like, wow, Dr. Oscar said. Okay, what did he say?
Wow.
That it's a journey, not a destination.
Absolutely.
That really helped us. It's not like you're going to reach a destination.
No.
This is a lifelong journey that we're going to engage in.
Which you are doing your deliberate work, but at the same time, there's biology working.
Yes, biology work disturbed us.
Right?
Dr. Oscar,
hormones are crossing each other.
It disturbed us.
Yes.
And maybe that's another question I had, but which we didn't get to answer that day.
Yes.
All this sexual incompatibility.
Yes.
Is there a way you can solve it?
By the way, I once watched a TED talk, which really helped me to understand. The guy on the stage is a really well-built guy, African-American gentleman, speaking, talking about the way he has a beautiful wife, but then they had a problem sexually and being physically intimate with each other. Then he realized that for him, what was happening was that because he was growing older, his testosterone was going down.
Yes, we had 45 who got testosterone in answer. Kuingia chile.
Kabisa.
So Mjengo inaingia.
Mjengo comes
now
and replaces.
Mjengo is the one that is replacing testosterone.
Yes. So that now my interests go into building things and building legacies and building legacy. Whatever. But it's not about the girls, is it? But then he said that you can do a lot of things. The same thing with women and hormone replacement therapy. So I think there is a way we could. I don't know the answer, but I think if we were to be able to find a medical doctor who could explain to us the differences in our hormones, and if there's something we can do that's not dangerous, because again, you don't want to replace testosterone. We don't want
dangerous
that
things.
Yes, but at least something that could help us to regulate our hormones, to make them at least come closer to each other. Because the problem is that we're so far apart from each other.
I know.
It's
the
almost
woman, those ages. Maybe you could explain just a little bit about them.
Yes. Okay. So generally, the way to think about it is that men are born full packed of testosterone.
That's what you were saying. That the 22-year-old is thinking about CU.
Oh my goodness!
And this guy is the only thing that's on his mind is sex. At that age.
This guy, please talk to you about it. How many are you in your family? He's like, when will we get to the good stuff? At how many are you in our family?
Help us.
I just want to know. I don't want to tell you. I'm here. That's all that matters. Me in my family. I'm not. So men at 22 are very full of testosterone. At that point, their bodies are very prime for procreation. They're very physically fit. They can eat anything and burn it all off. It's just that's how the body is. But women at that time, estrogen is low.
Imagine.
So you find all the girls are in CU.
Yeah, we are
guys are in ISEC. In fact, I was talking to someone. I forgot a lady who is now a manager of HR somewhere. She was in ISEC when I was in campus. I was like, at what point are you doing that? I had no clue.
You're not focusing on ISEC
what
and building a career.
No. Me, I'm thinking,
where are the women? That's what you're thinking.
And in fact, it's interesting, even probably as you're talking to women about success, why it's important to talk to young girls about investing at that age. Because that's the time when they will not be distracted.
Yes, they'll be fully focused.
So if they put a proper foundation, honestly, career-wise for themselves, they'll be set the rest of their life. For us, on the other hand,
you need help and prayers and laying on of hands.
So our testosterone goes dipping From 20,
brilliant.
dipping. And then when it goes to 45, there's a bit of a downward trend that actually goes into oblivion. So it goes slowly and then it now plateaus. At about 50 now it's plateauing, 70 another small dip. But for women it's the opposite.
It's going up now.
At 20, you're down here. Start climbing to 30. That's why you see most marriages. Have you realized that most women nowadays are getting married?
Those guys will agree with anything. I shall not my head. Most women are getting married at 30, 35.
At 30, 35, 35,
Yeah.
and that's the time when the lines are actually compatible.
So they cross for the first time.
Crossing.
At 35.
That's why you find that's why you find weddings, ratios, all these things. You know what guys don't know is that while they're doing something socially, biology is aligning.
Is aligning.
That's why even the bridesmaids, Maras who hooked up with each other's groomsmen, because all these people's hormones are in the same WhatsApp group. But then push it 5 years ahead. The woman is more heightened estrogen-wise, the man is lower testosterone-wise. So at that point, probably she's of childbearing age still, so she's still having kids.
Children.
And we found that the plateau happens at about over 45 for women as well, going to 50, but that's when now it's plateauing at a high whatever, and then it starts dipping at about 52, 55, going down like that. But also there's another explanation from biology. If I'm going to be hitting menopause at 50, I need all the eggs I have in my reserve to be used for procreation. So I have to also give you the engine to want to procreate.
Wow. God is a ninja.
Engineer par
Really
excellence.
There's no way that we could have come from a big bang. All these things
Can you
that
imagine?
he has thought through.
Yes, because you can imagine that at the point where your reserves look like they're going to go low, he says, let me give you the psych to use the ones that are remaining just in case you have a chance.
That's why even women can have babies at 50. I think
At
Janet
52,
Jackson
yes,
had,
absolutely.
People can have babies at 52 because the system is trying to say, use
fact,
up these eggs.
In fact, medically, a woman's uterus can actually hold a pregnancy up to about 55, 56.
Really?
Yes. That's why you find even when people do IVF and stuff, at an older age, they'll have a viable pregnancy and it's going to be fine. So that's God's design. That's the design that we actually look at. So when I'm a geek a bit, and that's why these connections I was able to find them. And I thought to myself, maybe that's why you find that men who are disinterested with a passion at that age, and women are very interested, there's a disconnect. Because the person who they need in each other's lives is not that person. It's not that person.
Yeah.
This guy needs coffee, blue pills, what. You see? And I don't know why we are quoting many of them in hotels. Pastor Angie, maybe you can help us.
I don't know. Why are they dying in hotels? They've gone there to look for that drama.
That's it.
That's the problem.
Because now, they've not accepted themselves.
Yeah. They're still trying to find that person that I was at 22. And that person is gone.
Yeah. And then they're at home with a raging Mustang next to them. So then they don't know. They're wondering, is it me who's wrong? Do I have a problem?
Do I have a problem?
So they find Miss 22, who's not interested. So they find themselves matching.
They're compatible.
Then he says one day, I have to reward her by showing her who I used to be at 22. Then he pops the thing. Kumbe is still taking nitrogen for heart disease, high blood pressure medication. Hey, it's a problem out here.
He has a heart attack. Please don't do those things. Don't do those things. Just kubali too, I guess, is the thing that I would like to say. And it's an agreement. You also have to agree with yourself.
Kubali with grace.
Yeah, with grace.
Because it's also not a good feeling for a man to know he's losing his viability and his veracity, his whatever, what do you call that? Anyway, he's being a man, he's being virility. It's going down. It's going down. So he didn't want to accept it.
But I'm not the one to provide that solution, but somebody has to provide it. I don't know where the solution will come from because the woman is now on this high, so there's a lot of drama. But maybe at least what I feel like is at least we're trying to explain to people what the problem is.
Yes.
Why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, why this is happening. Correct. I don't have any other solutions beyond that.
No, you're right. And I think maybe it's to say if we're a couple that love each other and are committed to each other, can we work together within our life cycle to find how I can support my spouse where I'm not? Because that's the thing. Because she also has her challenges at 52. I mean, if she's feeling like that and then you're disinterested, surely, I mean, you don't expect her to just look at you like a stone. She'll be frustrated. So what do you guys do? What compromise do you reach to actually be able to make it work? And I'm not saying that it will always work. it's difficult.
But at least you can try to make it work. You can start those conversations and see how you can, if you're committed and intentional about making this work.
Absolutely. Then there's a component the next time when we talk to people that I'm going to raise. Attachment styles.
Attachment styles.
I'm not even going to talk about it right now.
Yeah, I did mine. I was shocked. But I was like, yeah, explains a lot.
Right?
Explains why I am who I am.
Imagine if you put in the mix. Now we talked about biology, ICP.
Then you put attachment style.
Now you have a recipe for differentiation in between those things. Now it accounts for why biology is not the only answer. There's also many other things. So
many things.
It's complex, but it's exciting because I think we're getting to understand ourselves more by looking at all this.
Sometimes when we understand ourselves more, we don't want to understand ourselves more. You see, like now, even that day in the room, I think the men, I also got very good reports from the men.
Oh, wow.
I told you, like, my nephew was there, and he had said he had some questions. But when he finished, I said, Allah, what happened? He said, hey, Dr. Oscar answered every single question. So that was amazing for those who stayed, and even for the women. But what I think what happened is, and I think that's my encouragement, is in the moment, people react. But when they went home and unpacked it, and you calm down and you really think through what was Dr. Oscar saying, they came up with amazing conclusions. So you really did well. So we're going to have one. Tanzania is demanding for you.
Next year, yes.
I told you Tanzania said that Dr. Oscar needs to come here. And I wonder, them, I'm wondering what's happening to them, because I find them, I don't know whether to say that, that's politically correct. But maybe more sexual maybe than we are. There's a way that I find them, I don't know. There's something. So they are really waiting. And then they tried to put it together. I said, no, Dr. do the women.
Yes.
And he'll do the men separately, please. No shoe throwing. But they're also polite. Actually, the two Tanzanians in the room.
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember the two? They were so calm.
Very calm.
When everybody here was firing, wanting to throw shoes.
If I remember all of them supporting, which was like, I'd like to support Dr. Oscar.
I know.
And I said, wow.
They're very supportive. So I think also their culture is a bit different, the way they're cultured. They were actually even asking us, is this how you guys talk to your men?
Until now we can see what Dr. Oscar is saying.
We can see them, they were like, as we're seeing what Dr. Oscar is saying here, like, who are you? Because they were very calm, very contained. So it will be important to see that as well. So we'll
go. In their culture, they have a culture of being told.
Yes.
So ushauri.
So ours
were no.
Imagine
Kenyans
that's our problem. Kenyans, imagine. By who? This is our problem. Being told by who? we have to be told. You helped us.
For them, for Tanzanians, the aunties, the shoshos,
yes,
will talk to you whether you agree with what they're saying or not. But you listen to them.
And even the marriage thing, all these are they called senga? What are those women called? So even they are taught things related to sexuality when they're getting married, which is something that we've lost here. Nobody's going to talk to you about sex. How? Unless it's your peers who will tell you about it. Exactly. Nobody else is going to talk about it.
Exactly.
But they do that. So and that's what, because I was saying I better give context to this sexual culture, is that also sex is authentic.
It is, yes.
It's an authentic conversation which can be had with the aunties, which is something that we need. We need to have authentic conversations, and we need to be told.
No, you're right. And probably that's why in Kenya it's also become dysfunctional. Because we hide behind it. It's very like repressed, but then also we have weird behaviors around it because it's not a normal thing for us to talk about. But for them, it's normal, and they expect that if you're married, that this is part of what you're going to be doing, and that's why they give that talk around that time. I mean, look at cultures like Uganda as well, Rwanda. All of them, if you look at them, that's what they do. So it has its place. So funnily, as sexual cultures they may be, they're very conservative.
Yes.
So
us guys were the ones who don't talk about it, but the things that we get up to, we now need divine deliverance God to come. And actually the reason I remembered why I wanted you to come and talk about it is because I really believe that a lot of marriages are going to be birthed, but I think the whole idea is that we have to birth them the right way.
Yes, we have to.
We have to birth them the right way. We have to have understanding.
Correct. Yeah. And I think part of how we can use what we know now is, like premarital counseling that people do. For many people, just ticking a box. Do 10 sessions. And I was telling someone, do you really expect that you've done any counseling? These people already have set a date. They've paid a deposit. What if you tell them something that makes them know they shouldn't be together? They're not going to say
we're not going to be together. And that's why I tell people they should do PMCC way before.
Exactly.
But maybe when we'll sit with you, because I don't know, you have to write a book, Dr. Oscar. We have said, are you writing a book?
Hey, I'm supposed to be writing.
You have to write a book.
Yes.
Because where are we going to get this information from?
True. You're right. Actually, in fact, I'll tell you, where I've been. That's why I've not been writing, but yes, I do. And I agree with you, because I think, and that's why I've been doing the research about even the bonding and stuff. I said, could there be other factors? So I don't want to write it
without all the other factors.
But then also, I'm not going to wait for it. I'm not going to wait for it to be perfect, all right? And then if I find more things in other editions, keep adding the information.
Yeah, because it's important. And I always say people should not do PMCC when they are planning their wedding, because they're more focused on planning the wedding than on getting this learning. So try to get it as early as possible. And as we will go to Tanzania, and then we'll see whether we'll do another one here for these people, just to help them. Because I really believe marriages are being birthed. Dr. Oscar, you can say that would be really nice, and we'll have to now rethink our security strategy. We need bouncers now around you.
No, and it was good. I mean, it was good even for me.
And you were so brave. How did it feel being in a room full of crazy
women? Let me tell you, it was crazy. I have to say, at first I was like, oh my God, this is going to backfire in my face. But
and they were only 120 and they were being so rough.
Yes. But I said, you know what, it's okay. Because luckily, at least I don't know who's going to put their hand on me.
Yeah.
At least I speak authentically. It's sort of, I'm not insulting anybody. I'm saying my truth. And being vulnerable, and then I demonstrate to them and told them, that's why men are not vulnerable with you.
Because this is how you react.
Yeah. So if
actually, it was a very good example.
Yeah.
You tell you the truth.
First of all, I'm not even a guy who's dating you.
We are married to somebody else.
Yes.
And here you are.
Now you're taking on her problems, and now you're deciding to kill me with them. And you guys are refusing to look at your own people.
But they understood that. Yes. I think it got there. When it calmed down, I'm telling you, they took a good, reflective look at themselves. And guys were now coming out with, oh, Pastor Angie, that was really helpful.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing Dr. Oscar. I now see this, I see this. I'm off to Mjengo tomorrow. Nimevara, but tonight I'm Mjengo. No more date night when we are building. Those are how many bags of cement.
Do you know?
Oh, transformation
even
was
my
amazing.
Own wife.
Guy, did she hear about the incident?
Transformed into a Mjengo person herself.
She did.
Oh my God, nowadays it's like, when are you going? When can I come? I'm like, okay, now it's too much now. But it's good.
And it's too much now. We have to go to Mjengo.
It's really good. And because it is your home. And I remember just having a good talk with her as well and telling her, it is your home. Who am I building it for?
It's for you.
Yeah.
And for your children. Yeah. So you have to have interest.
In fact,
it's not the time to fura for me.
Yeah.
Do you go for date night and we have Mjengo?
Then you know you have to be strategic as a man. Like a receipt for hardware. You angusha it just there. Pastor, you have to tell
so
you
she can see.
Hey, she's like this. Huh?
Investment.
She's like, where? What are you having for dinner?
Oh, she's now, the attitude has changed because
now you realize he's been doing this in silence.
Yeah. He's not been talking about it.
But how can I support?
Yeah.
And I thank God for her anyway. She's always been there from the beginning.
Always.
And you know, when I told her that I want more women to do it, she was like, yeah, you know, not everybody can do it. I said, I know, not everybody can do it. But if more women did it, it would actually be much better. Yes. Yeah,
but it's that concern. The concern, being nice to the people at the Mjengo. They really learned a lot. They tell me their stories. They write to me. They say, hey, this is happening. So that's why I wanted us to come back to sort of have like a refresher.
That is so amazing.
Then we'll go to Tanzania. And then we'll see what we can do for them here as well. Just so that they have a reminder.
I'm actually excited to even go to Tanzania. My wife is half Tanzanian, by the way.
Oh, she is?
So it will be going back to the roots.
Really?
Yes, from Tanga.
What? Oh my goodness. Okay,
so
I didn't know
those
that.
Are the in-laws now.
Those are the in-laws.
The in-laws, yeah. So no, they have a very different demeanor when it comes to relationships with men. And also just how they relate. Of course, she's grown up in Kenya, so she's more Kenyan than Tanzanian. But that culture, when I see her mother and will speak, it's there. It's really deeply rooted. And so I'm excited to go there because also it's going to be a good challenge for me, the cultural shift. Because even the men, and you know, I went to school with a lot of Tanzanians. And
how come?
You know, in campus. Oh. So in campus, there were many of them who'd come from East African region. And so they have a very different way of how they treat their women and how they are. Very different from us guys. Us guys are described as ruffians.
Guys,
Kenyans
we need to lay hands on hands. We need to lay hands.
And look, I will not exonerate Kenyan men. I know we have not done as well as we could. If compared to our East African brothers, we're definitely lagging behind. Probably we've become so hardened ourselves by our circumstances, our thoughts. We've never put romance ahead of other things. Maybe that's what we're more capitalistic in our engagements with people. So I think we can learn a lot from them. And I can't wait to go there and see how what we've been doing here translates.
Yeah, it will see. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
And I'm so honored, of course, you know that. I really honor you, honor your wife, your family,
thank you,
even
too.
for letting her, you know, she let you come.
Yes.
And you came alone so that you could discuss with us, get it candidly. Right. Yeah, candidly.
I didn't want side eyes.
Yeah, you don't want side eyes. You must care of macho. Even to your point, Natoa. I loved that so much, and I hope you thanked her for that as well.
Yes, I did.
But it was a really authentic conversation. We really had so much fun.
Thank you.
We laughed at ourselves. We cried.
Yes,
we experienced every emotion. We were shocked.
Yes.
But the best thing is that we went home and we had a meeting with ourselves. You called yourself to Akamushe Manyo, and you say, let me tell you, this is the way I want to go. So thank you so much. And I think I also want to thank you. I don't think I thanked you enough for thinking. I thought this came because of forensics.
Yes.
Just seeing what people are doing out there and how other men are harming people.
Yes.
And then now you decided, hey, let's walk this backwards and start with a man, start with a woman, so that we talk to them, so we don't get to this place.
Exactly.
Where we are even producing children who are ready to do horrific things.
Absolutely.
And you can trace it back to your upbringing. I mean, I just thought that was really amazing.
No, thank you, Pastor Angie. I think even just for giving me the platform, the audience, you know, it's not easy to find a group of over 100 women in a room who are going to listen to what you have to say. Crazy ideas, some of them which have not been tested yet in terms of like on a large scale, but it's observations. But I'm happy that it related to their lives, and I'm happy that they took it positively. And yes, and even if there was that, you know, back and forth at the needing security, it was good for me as well, because sometimes even delivery and how you deliver information, it could be a bit too much for some people, a bit too soon. And when people are still raw, you probably don't give them too much of a live example that they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this guy can tell us that. But just to know that we keep the authenticity up, we keep the information fresh, and also just encourage more of them to listen to it, because you know, the women you lead and the men you lead, the people who are part of this organization and this movement, to me, are actually amazing human beings. And I think, and I felt as if I felt the love, I felt the concern, and I also felt, and it was good. I felt like I'm in a family, because you know, when you're talking to people, this kind of information you can only tell to people you really care about. But there are people you just look at, they're too far gone. You're like, I can't ingilia. Imagine I won't do the work of God to go. Let them face it, and when they need it, then we can talk about it. But for you guys to proactively look for the information, I thought that was really great.
Thank you so much. And I'll never forget May at that table when we came for dinner. May was in
hyperventilating.
Shock, like this didn't just happen. And I like that, because now when we were shocked, we said, okay, let's go shock everybody.
Yes, exactly.
Jenny Appa, come
that was very good of you guys. Actually, I was so happy that the leadership team, the organizing team, took the time to first of all digest it, you know, and to listen to it and to see it was so funny. When we finished, I remember we finished about 11, and I said, look at the new bill coming in. And
the new bill was coming in. Yeah.
When us guys were going to go to bed.
We were going to bed. New Bill was waking up. This is the time they go out. I'm telling you, like. But it was really good, Dr. Oscar. Really great. Authentic conversations are important. Thank you. Authentic conversations are important. Or the authentic reality on the ground is something that we have to acknowledge.
Just as a parting shot for me, I mean, part of what I can say, we're finding that Kenyans value family a lot.
They do.
And I think that we've not had a roadmap of how to restore families.
Definitely.
And I think that if we can begin with the two people relating to have a potential family, we'll be starting to solve the problem. As opposed to waiting to redeem families that are far gone. How about the people starting to form those families? And I think it's a good place for you to start. You've done well. It's done in a fresh way. It's fun. I love what you said. We laughed, we cried. We were pensive. We were all that stuff. And I think it's good when people are reflecting, you know, and being raw and authentic with ourselves, and not imagining the problem of, for example, cheating is only a male problem. It's also a female problem. It's also, you know, it's really amazing. I've learned a lot. It humbled me a lot. Taught me that I need to even learn more, because if there's so much yearning for information like this, I need to get, like, you know, can I get more to actually satisfy that need to know?
Yeah, we did really well.
Thank you.
We did really well.
Thank you, Pastor.
I loved it.
Thank
I
you,
loved
Pastor.
it so much. It was amazing. We did well, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
and we'll keep doing it.
Yes, I'd love to. I'd
exposing
love to.
the truth to each other.
And I love it because anytime anybody talks to me and I talk about the community of faith, I say that I wish that more people in the community of faith would have practical conversations.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, the Bible is really a practical.
It is very practical.
Practical.
Very.
But then translating into that practicality is what most people suffer with. So they don't organize events like you do, which allow people to talk outside that context. Then the fact that you're there as an authority and then you ground people. And I love what you did even the second time when we went in and you took the points that we had talked about the first time and you actually clarified to them, you know, with the foundation of faith. To me, that's really value addition a lot, and I love that. I thought that was really a good synergy, and I'd love to continue doing that.
Thank you so much,
Thank
and I'm
you
so
much,
privileged to have you on our team, on our side.
Absolutely. No, I'm the one who's honored. I'm like, oh my goodness, a casino like me here. I'm happy.
We're all sinners.
Yes, we are.
We're all sinners, but I love, and my ministry is very practical.
Yes, it is.
We've got to get to the practicality. We can't live out there like
no.
Like I don't know where are you living.
This
is
theory.
the reality.
No.
Come here.
Yes.
This is what is happening here.
Absolutely.
How do we handle it?
Yes.
And then I think also just showing people who they are, the raw version of who they are, and unpacking them. It really helps them to heal and to choose a different perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Dr.
Pastor.
Oscar. I'm so grateful.
All right.
I hope you guys have enjoyed having Dr. Oscar back. Be on the lookout for when we'll try to do something. We'll try to do something else next year so that we see how we can help each and every one of us. And he said the word restore, and I'm really believing that God is restoring order in families and in relationships. And we have to take a deep look at ourselves and really come up with solutions that are addressing who we really are authentically. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.